Good afternoon and welcome to the Dr. Alan W. Sugarman Sports Complex. My name is Tommy Aquilina. You're watching the Fort Lee Bridgeman Athletics stream here on YouTube. The Fort Lee Bridgeman baseball team set to take on the Dwight Englewood Bulldogs baseball team momentarily. Meeting on the mound among the infielders, including Fort Lee senior catcher Luke Senator and today's starting pitcher Ryan Park. And the right-hander, number 33, set to face the Dwight Englewood Bulldogs starting lineup, beginning obviously with 1, 2, 3 in the lineup. That's going to be Blake Glasser, Matthew Herr, and then Austin Kim. This is number 8, Glasser. First pitch of the day is high, says the umpire. We're underway. Glasser leading off and playing center field today for the Bulldogs. That's low. Count goes to 2-0 on Glasser. And make that 3-0. Glasser, according to NJ.com, a .250 batting average on the season, 0 home runs, 3 RBI. You want to keep him off base. 17 stolen bases. He's the only Bulldog in double digits this year, and he takes strike one. So Ryan Park now down in the count 3-1 as he looks to get back in this count. Tapped past the mound. Nice play by Jack Dorcom. Steps in front of Luke Kim. If it had gotten to Kim, it would have taken another hop. Not sure he would have had time to get the speedy Glasser. Dorcom makes the play. That is a solid 5-3 putout. There's one away. Looking at the Bridgeman defense, we just saw Dorcom at third. Then it's Luke Kim at short, Stephen Kim at second base, and Nico Sango at first base. Ryan Park on the mound, obviously. Luke Senator doing the catching, and he catches a called strike to Matthew Herr, the right fielder and a left-handed batter for Dwight Englewood. That's inside. Did it catch him? No, it did not, so it'll be a 1-1 count on Herr. A .229 batting average on the year for her, 0 home runs, but he leads Dwight Englewood batters with 15 walks, and he's ahead in the count now, 2-1. Ryan Park getting the start today, set to deal. This one is grounded sharply past Stephen Kim. Gave it a good try, gets past the second baseman into right field. For Fort Lee, it's Jacob Greenberg in right, Luke Senator's younger brother CJ Senator in center, and then Gabriel Lasval in left. So a single for her, that will bring up Austin Kim, the number 3 hitter, and as it should be, he is Dwight Englewood's best hitter, hitting in the 3 spot. Ball 1 outside. Ryan Park having a little bit of difficulty finding the zone right now. He has recorded 1 out. 1 out, 1 on. That's called strike 1 to Austin Kim. Right, left, right in terms of the way the batters hit for the first 3 batters in the Dwight Englewood lineup. Kim fouls that one off. He leads either outright or in a tie Dwight Englewood batters with 20 hits, 5 doubles, 1 triple, 3 home runs, and a .649 slugging percentage. Hitting here with a runner on first and 1 away. Runner not going. Pitch is low, good block by Senator. Count levels at 2-2. Runner still not going. The 2-2 pitch sent the other way. It's a foul ball off the bat of Kim. We'll do the 2-2 pitch again. On deck, the cleanup hitter and left fielder today, Kevin Rich. Dwight Englewood, 6-11-1 on the season. 3-5 in their division, the NJIC Meadowlands division. This is not a divisional or county matchup. This one is sent the other way again. Right center, Jacob Greenberg fakes like he's going to catch it. He cannot. Dunks in front of him. Did a pretty good job there deking the lead runner. So it'll be first and second with one away, following the opposite field single by Austin Kim. And that'll bring up another right-handed batter. Kevin Rich, the left fielder today. A .364 batting average on the season. 1 home run, 13 RBI. His batting average and RBI total, both the best on the team, coached by Michael McMillan. 1-0 the count on Rich. 2 on, 1 out, and Rich takes high, ball 2. Ryan Park, 1-0 on the season, a 5.44 ERA, 11 strikeouts in 9 innings of work. Coming into this one, he gets the start today, and he's now down in the count 3-0 to Kevin Rich. Yes, it's a 3-0 count on Dwight Englewood's cleanup batter. Looked like he might have bunted there almost, or like he was showing bunt. Ends up taking strike 1. 3-1 the count. Ryan Park checks the lead runner. He deals, and the count goes full. Here's Park's payoff pitch. Runners are going, and it's high. Ball 4 to Kevin Rich. And so after the first batter of the game was retired, a couple singles and a walk, and the bases are loaded for the Bulldogs. Loaded for Nick Bevilacqua, the number 5 batter, and the starting third baseman today for Dwight Englewood. Bevilacqua hitting .306 on the season, 0 home runs, 10 runs batted in, and we have a meeting on the mound as Ryan Park is going to look to settle down and settle in. Still no runs on the board, and really just one ground ball away from getting out of things here, but most of Park's pitches here in the top of the first have been outside the strike zone. Fort Lee, coming into this one, 13-4 on the season. They did lose their most recent game. That was the round of 16 Bergen County tournament game. And Ryan Park drops a strike in there to Bevilacqua. Low and outside. Luke Senator keeps it in front. One the count. Two-one. Senator has to use his body to block that one. Runners stay put, bases still loaded. 2-1 the count. And Park deals. Swing and a miss. Swinging a foul tip into Senator's glove. Counts all the same. And it's a 2-2 count. Just a bit outside, maybe a little upstairs. And the count goes full. Not sure if the runners will be going. They are not, and that is ball 4. Second straight walk handed out by Park. It will be a run-scoring base on balls for Bevilacqua. Give him a run batted in for that one. That's Matthew Herr, scoring the first run of the day today. The Bulldogs take a 1-0 lead. Bases remain loaded, still one out, and now we'll have another right-handed batter, the number 6 hitter in Michael McMillan's lineup, Gavin Markowitz. And that's ball 1 to Markowitz. The Bulldogs catcher has a .349 batting average on the season. No extra base hits, but 12 runs batted in. Sends this one in the air. Infield fly rule is called. Luke Kim handles it at short in the infield. Score that F6. And there are 2 away here at the Sugarman Sport Complex. Bases remain loaded, of course, and that'll bring up Zach Day. He is the pitcher today for the Bulldogs. He's going to have a lead when he takes the mound in the bottom of the first. Will it be a 1-run lead or a multi-run lead? Looks like a 1-run lead. Grounded weakly to first, and Ryan Park retires his pitching counterpart. Score that 1-3, and all things considered, that could have been a lot worse for Fort Lee. We'll go to the bottom of the first inning. The Bridgemen trailing the Bulldogs 1-0. Final warm-up tosses complete for Zach Day, the starting pitcher today for the Dwight Englewood Bulldogs. Remember, ERA on a 7-inning scale, as high school baseball games go 7 innings, not 9. Zach Day has an 8.78 ERA. 1 win on the season. 19 strikeouts in 22 and a third innings, but 30 walks allowed and 32 hits allowed. Let's see what the Fort Lee offense can do against number 15 for Dwight Englewood. Starts things off here with a strike to Stephen Kim. Fort Lee second baseman leading off today, and Kim takes ball 1. Make that a 1-1 count. Stephen Kim leading off, Luke Senator hitting second, and Christopher Kim is batting third and DHing today for Park. Sun starting to peek out a little bit. Stephen Kim sends this one to center. Barely having to move and making the play is Blake Glasser. 1 away. Glasser in center field, flanked by Kevin Rich in left and Matthew Herr in right. And then looking at the Dwight Englewood infield, it's Bevilacqua at third base, Kim at shortstop. At second base, Jalen Jeter Martin, he's getting DH'd for. And then Noah Fisher at first base. Mentioned Gavin Markowitz catching, and he is catching Zach Day, who is down in the count 1-0 to Luke Senator, the elder Senator brother. And he takes ball 1. Ball 2, rather, low. Working pretty quickly here is Day, and that's way inside. The first pitch was called a strike to Senator, so it's a 2-1 count on the Fort Lee catcher. Lined to left field, it is a fair ball. Senator is going to round first and hold up right there. Good defensive play by Rich in left. It's a single for Luke Senator. Luke Senator came into the day leading Fort Lee batters in hits, home runs, doubles, batting average, slugging percentage, RBI, walks. Adds another hit there. Not getting pinch run for, the Fort Lee catcher on first with 1 away, and Christopher Kim takes ball 1. Little low and away, low and or away, I think. That one's definitely low, so it should be a 2-0 count on Christopher Kim. Luke Senator is going. The throw is in time. Did not appear to be in time to me. It was caught and hung on to by Austin Kim at short, and Luke Senator is caught stealing. Score that 2-6. And I believe it's a 2-1 count now on Christopher Kim. 2 away, nobody on now for the Bridgemen, and that is low. Must have been a 3-0 count. Ball 4 to Chris Kim. So a single and a walk, but because of the caught stealing, only 1 man on for the Bridgemen. And that'll bring up the Fort Lee cleanup hitter, Jack Dorcom. Dorcom hitting .244 on the season, 0 home runs, 7 RBI, and he takes upstairs. Day's 1-0 pitch. Dropped in there for a called strike. It's a pretty quick move right there for a right-handed pitcher. Chris Kim gets back. And now Day steps off. set to deliver a 1-1 pitch to Dorcom. Low and away. Actually got by Markowitz behind the plate. A balk was called on that one, so count the ball, but the balk allows Chris Kim to advance to second base as well. So 2-1 the count, 2 out, and a runner on second base for the Bridgemen. Middle infielder's pinch, but with 2 outs, you really wanted to go after the batter here. And this one is looped right in front of second base. Jeter Martin makes the play, score that 4-3. And Fort Lee does not score in the first inning. We'll head to the second inning. Bridgeman trailing the Dwight Englewood Bulldogs 1-0. Want to take a moment to shout out our proud Fort Lee Bridgeman Athletics sponsors. The Fort Lee PBA, Cafaso's Fairway Market, The Finest Construction, the Fort Lee Soccer Club, Rusin and Doru Electric, the Bridgeman Basketball Camp, the Fort Lee VFW, Visions Federal Credit Union, It's Greek to Me, Connect One Bank, the Bergen Black Sox, Senator Builders, UCS Strength and Speed, the Collective Salon, and the Fort Lee Education Association. You see our proud sponsors on your screen now. Thank you to them. Thank you for tuning in on a Friday afternoon here at Fort Lee. The Bridgeman baseball team trailing the Dwight Englewood Bulldogs 1-0 after 1 inning of play. Tommy Aquilina back here with you at the Sugarman Sport Complex. 1 inning in the books. Ryan Park back out there for Fort Lee. He's going to deal with Noah Fisher. 8-9-1 due up for the Bulldogs here in the second inning. First pitch swinging, set in the air to left. Gabe Lasval is right there. Noah Fisher flies out. 1 pitch, 1 away. And that will bring up the designated hitter for the Bulldogs, Ethan Seidowitz, DHing for Jeter Martin, who made a nice play at second base to end the bottom of the first inning. Ball 1 to Seidowitz. A .320 batting average on the season, 0 home runs, 7 runs batted in. Swing and a miss. Went for the off-speed pitch there. And it's a 1-1 count on the Bulldogs' number 9 batter. Sent the other way. That's a fair ball. Down the right field line, Jacob Greenberg does a good job getting there. It's going to be a single for Seidowitz. Third hit of the day for Dwight Englewood. And we'll go back to the top of the order with a runner on first and 1 away. Glasser led off the first inning innocently enough with a ground out to third base. Ryan Park put a lot of guys on, but only allowed 1 run last inning. First pitch swinging. Sango and Stephen Kim both after it. Nice play by Stephen Kim, calling off his first baseman. These teams are flashing the leather a little bit here at the Sugarman Sport Complex on a Friday afternoon. 2 away now. Runner on first base, and Matthew Herr is the batter for the Bulldogs. I believe he's the only lefty in the lineup. The only one that I remember, at least. He's ahead in the count 1-0. Herr scored that run last inning. He singled and then scored on Bevilacqua's bases-loaded walk. Runner going, throw to second, in time. Luke Senator thrown out trying to steal last half inning. This half inning, he gets the Bulldogs back. Throws out Seidowitz trying to steal. We will head to the bottom of the second inning. Fort Lee still trailing 1-0. Bottom of the second inning, underway. Big swing and a miss there from CJ Senator, the Fort Lee center fielder. He's down in the count 0-1 to Zach Day, who it looks like likes to work pretty quickly. Shot the other way. That is a single to right field for CJ Senator. Senator, Greenberg, Sango do up in the Bridgeman order. So that'll bring up Fort Lee's right fielder today, Jacob Greenberg, with 1 on and nobody out. Greenberg hitting .245 on the season, 0 home runs, 11 runs batted in, according to NJ.com. Senator is a threat to go, not going here, and that pitch is low. Handled by Markowitz behind the plate, 1-0 the count on Greenberg. Throw over, and that's going to be an E1, allowing Senator to advance to second. He rounds second, and he's going to stop right there. So again, that is a throwing error on Zach Day. So a runner on second with nobody out now, as Fort Lee looks to tie this one up. Little high to Greenberg, 2-0 count. Jeter Martin trying to keep the runner close, as that one is fouled away by Greenberg. Put a pretty good swing on that one. Still ahead in the count, 2-1. Way upstairs and inside. 3-1 the count. Greenberg probably going to be sitting dead red on this one. Runner not going. Greenberg was sitting dead red, put a good swing on it, fouled it off. It'll be a payoff pitch with a runner on second and nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. Dwight Englewood leading Fort Lee 1-0. Runner not going. Day deals way inside. Is it a walk? No, it's a hit by pitch for Greenberg for bookkeeping purposes. So a single, an E1, and then a hit by pitch puts runners on first and second for the Bridgemen. Nobody out now for the first baseman today, Nico Sango. A .237 batting average for Sango. No home runs, 8 RBI on the year. Lead runner is going, and that pitch gets away. Definitely a stolen base for CJ Senator. We could be generous and give Greenberg one as well. Either way, runners on second and third now with nobody out, and Sango ahead in the count 1-0. Corner infielders come in now for the Bulldogs. Tapped up the middle. Austin Kim at short throws out Sango. It's a game-tying RBI groundout for the Fort Lee first baseman. Senator scores. Greenberg advances to third. Sango is retired. Give him a run batted in. And we're tied at 1. 1 out now. Runner on third for the Bridgemen, specifically Gabriel Lasval. Pete Kraljick's left fielder today. All 4 infielders have come in now for Dwight Englewood. And a called strike on Lasval. The 0-1 pitch. 0-2. Lasval, the number 8 hitter in Fort Lee's lineup. Day deals, grounded to first. Really nice play there at first base by Fisher. A run does score, though. So the bases will be empty, and there will be 2 outs because of the nice play by Fisher. Score that 3 unassisted, but an RBI for Gabe Lasval. Greenberg with a run scored, and the Bridgemen have taken the lead. 2-1 Fort Lee as Luke Kim swings and fouls that pitch off. 0-1 the count on the Fort Lee shortstop. So a single for CJ Senator, then a hit by pitch for Jacob Greenberg, a double steal, and then Fort Lee scoring runs on 2 RBI groundouts. 1 for Nico Sango, 1 for Gabe Lasval. They now lead 2-1, 0-2 the count on Luke Kim, who sends this one into left, and that will dunk in for a base hit. Left fielder has a hard time with it. Luke Kim will go to second base. That's going to be a single and an E7 for the Fort Lee shortstop. Ball bounced in front of Kevin Rich, and you got to be careful on these turf fields. The ball can take extremely high hops. It did just that on Rich, so he commits an error. Luke Kim now in scoring position, and we go back to the top of the Fort Lee order. Stephen Kim with a runner on second and 2 gone. Ball 1. Kim flied out to Glasser in center in the bottom of the first inning. Fouls that pitch straight back, and it's a 1-1 count on the Fort Lee leadoff man. Stephen Kim came into this one hitting .490 on the season. 1 home run, 17 RBI. 0 for 1 today. And he fouls that pitch off. It'll be a 1-2 count. Runner going, outside, throw to third. Oh, that's in plenty of time. But a good slide by Luke Kim to avoid the tag. Three. Well, no, there was the double steal as well. I thought Markowitz might have had Luke Kim at third. It's not going to matter. Stephen Kim grounds out to Fisher at first base, score that 3 unassisted. But the Bridgemen do take the lead. RBI ground out for Nico Sango, RBI ground out for Gabe Lasval. It's 2-1 Bridgemen after 2 innings. Just about set for the 3rd inning here at the Sugarman Sport Complex. Tommy Aquilina back with you as Fort Lee leads Dwight Englewood 2-1, and we have a new pitcher for Pete Kraljic. Ryan Park gives Kraljic 2 innings. Now it's not number 33, but number 35, Val Jimenez, delivering a strike on the foul ball. Matthew Herr batting when Luke Senator threw out the runner at second trying to steal. So Herr hitting again here, and he takes low. So a 1-1 count on Herr. Going to be Herr, Kim, and Rich. 2-3-4 due up in the Dwight Englewood lineup as they trail for the first time today. Right down the pipe, 1-2 the count. Matthew Herr knows that was a pitch to swing at. Val Jimenez, the right-hander, making his varsity debut for Pete Kraljic today. Served the other way. That's a good piece of hitting by Matthew Herr, but it's a foul ball. Count will remain 1-2. So Ryan Park goes 2 innings, 1 run allowed on 3 hits, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. That is inside. It's too far inside. Jimenez plunks Herr. So he's on base for the 2nd time today, and that'll bring up Austin Kim. Herr and Kim both singled in the 1st inning. Kim now hitting with a runner on first and nobody out. Runner not going, pitches upstairs to Austin Kim. That pitch is low. 2-0 the count now on Kim. Fouled off there. It'll be a 2-1 count on the Dwight Englewood shortstop and number 3 batter. Jimenez quickly checks on the runner, now set to deal. Sent the other way, coming on is Greenberg. Nice play, throws to first, does not double up the runner, but score that F9, and Austin Kim is retired. 1 out and 1 on for Kevin Rich. He walked back in the first inning. 4 straight batters reached with 1 out for Dwight Englewood, 2 singles and 2 walks, and that gave them a 1-0 lead. Since then, though, Ryan Park and Val Jimenez have locked in. This one is sent to left. That is a base hit that gets by Lasval in left. Herr on his way to third. He's going to score easily. And the runner is not stopping at third. They throw home. He's in there. Kevin Rich with a Little League home run. Dwight Englewood retakes the lead. It's 3-2. Obviously, that's not actually a home run. That'll probably be a single and an E7, allowing 2 runs to score. Both Herr and Rich. Mentioned the high hops that balls can take on turf fields. Gabe Lasval thought the ball was going to come up higher than it did. Went right by him, went all the way to the fence, and both runners were off to the races. So a 3-2 lead now for the Bulldogs. Jimenez pitching to Bevilacqua, and now down in the count 2-0. Bevilacqua's walk with the bases loaded in the first inning gave Dwight Englewood a 1-0 lead. So he has 1 run batted in. And he pops this one up. Stephen Kim makes the play. 2 gone, nobody on, and that'll bring up Markowitz. So Dwight Englewood went up by 1. Fort Lee went up by 1. The Bulldogs have retaken a 1-run lead, and that is strike 1 to Markowitz. Bulldog catcher calls time. Back in the box, Jimenez deals a swinging strike. Jimenez ahead of the count 0-2. A little bit high and away. And the 1-2. We'll do it again. Some gray clouds starting to creep in over the field from left field. Top of the third inning, Dwight Englewood up 3-2. Jimenez deals, grounded to second. Nice backhand play by Kim, throwing on the run. Nice pick by Nico Sango. Good play on both ends. Score that 4-3, and we will go to the bottom of the third inning. Fort Lee will once again look to erase a 1-run deficit. Dwight Englewood's Zach Day out there for a third inning of work. First pitch grounded to short, and that's going to get by Kim. Tried to make like a goalie glove save with it. That's going to be an E6, and that will allow Luke Senator to reach. Senator singled in the first inning. He was then caught stealing. Once again, not being pinch run for after reaching on an error by Austin Kim. Also first pitch swinging, Chris Kim grounded to third, and Dwight Englewood turns the 5-4-3 double play. Just like that, 2 pitches, 2 outs. And with 2 out and nobody on, Jack Dorcom will be the batter for Fort Lee. And he takes ball 1. Dorcom grounded out to second his first time up. Zach Day deals outside. For a guy who's been very wild this season, Day has done a pretty good job pounding the strike zone, not giving away too many free passes. Really high bounce. Nice play on the front end by Bevilacqua. His throw to first could not be picked by Fisher. Realistically, that's a single for Jack Dorcom. An infield single, of course, and there's 1 on with 2 away for CJ Senator. That ball bounced a mile into the sky. That was like a Baltimore chop. So Dorcom's at first. The pitch to Senator, low and away. Markowitz stays in front of it. Dorcom stays at first. CJ Senator with a single, a stolen base, and a run scored. And now he's ahead in the count 2-0. That's upstairs. 3-0 the count on Senator. Strike 1. Just 1 walk handed out so far by Zach Day. He's also hit a batter. The 3-1 pitch to Senator. Grounded. Kim gets to it. Backhands it. Throws to first in time. That's a nice play by Austin Kim. Between that and the double play that Dwight Englewood turned, easily makes up for Kim's error earlier in the inning. We're through 3. Fort Lee trails Dwight Englewood 3-2. We're back for the fourth inning here at the Sugarman Sport Complex. Val Jimenez out there for a second inning of work, dealing with Dwight Englewood's starting pitcher, Zach Day. 7-8-9 due up in the Bulldog lineup. First pitch swinging. Day pops this one up. Luke Kim in the outfield. Grass makes the play. Not really grass, the turf they have out there. Makes the play in front of Lasval and Senator. One pitch, one out. So Day is 0 for 2. That'll bring up the first baseman, Noah Fisher, and then the DH, Seidowitz, is on deck. Jimenez wasting no time delivering strike one to Fisher. He flied out to Lasval and left his first time up. That was a strange foul ball, but it counts as one strike, and it's an 0-2 count now on Fisher. Dwight Englewood looking to expand upon their one-run lead. A 1-0 lead was not enough. They now lead 3-2. Jimenez deals. Called strike 3. Clips the outside corner. First varsity strikeout of the year for Val Jimenez. First strikeout by a Dwight Englewood batter today. Fisher is gone. That will bring up Seidowitz. And Ethan Seidowitz is plunked. So he'll reach for a second time today. He was erased when Luke Senator threw him out trying to steal. But he's now 1 for 1 with a hit by pitch. And Dwight Englewood has a runner on first with 2 outs for their leadoff batter. Glasser went 0 for 2 against Ryan Park. He takes strike 1 from Val Jimenez. Runner not going. Pitch is grounded to short. Luke Kim goes the short way. Score that 6-4. Quick inning for Val Jimenez. We're halfway through this one. The Bridgemen trail the Bulldogs of Dwight Englewood by a score of 3-2. Tommy Aquilina back here with you at the Sugarman Sport Complex. A mostly gray sky now, but we're rolling right along. Fort Lee trailing Dwight Englewood 3-2 after 3.5. Swing and a miss. Gigantic swing and a miss by Jacob Greenberg. Greenberg, Sango, and Lasval 6-7-8 due up for the Bridgemen. Count levels at 1-1. Coming into today, according to NJ.com, Zach Day had given up 33 runs, 28 earned, 5 unearned, in 22 and a third innings. Today, only 2 runs allowed through 3 innings, and he has a lead. Inside, ball 2 to Greenberg. Hit by a pitch, his first time up. He scored Fort Lee's second run to put them up 2-1. He sends this one to right. And making the play is Matthew Herr, one away. So now that'll bring up Sengo. 0 for 1, but he picked up his 9th run batted in of the season on a ground out in the 2nd inning. Takes upstairs here. 1-0 the count on Sengo. 0 for 1 with a run batted in. Turns away from that one. Winds up in the strike zone. And it's a 1-1 count. Day deals. Up the middle for a base hit. Good piece of hitting by Sengo. He's now 1 for 2 with an RBI, and that'll bring up Gabriel Lasval. RBI ground out himself his first time up, so his batting average drops, but he now has 7 runs batted in on the season. Hitting here with a man on and 1 away. Drops a bunt down. Almost gets past Day. He's going to take it himself, score that 1 unassisted. Now that is a sacrifice bunt for Gabe Lasval. He technically did his job of moving over the runner, so that should not affect his batting average. That's a sacrifice hit, but with 1 out, it's a little bit of an odd play, because now, of course, there are 2 outs. Maybe he was bunting for a hit. Either way, it should be scored a sacrifice hit. 2 gone. Tying run on second base, and Luke Kim takes outside. Sengo stays at second. Luke Kim is 1 for 1 with a stolen base. RBI opportunity for Fort Lee's shortstop and number 9 batter. Up the middle. Kim is there. Throws the first. Got him. 2 runs allowed in 4 innings for Zach Day against a good Fort Lee offense. Not bad at all. We'll head to the 5th inning. Dwight Englewood clinging to a 3-2 lead. You're watching the Fort Lee Bridgeman Athletics stream on YouTube. The Fort Lee Bridgeman baseball team currently trailing Dwight Englewood by a score of 3-2. Val Jimenez out here for the 5th inning. This is his 3rd inning of work. He is set to face 2-3-4 in the Dwight Englewood lineup. Beginning with right fielder Matthew Herr. He's 1 for 1 with a hit by pitch and 2 runs scored, 2 of Dwight Englewood's 3. Ahead in the count now, 1-0. Make it 1-1. Dwight Englewood looking to improve upon their 6-11-1 record. They are 2-9-1 on the road this year and 0-3 in the month of May. Pitch is low to her. It's a 2-1 count. Inside. Count goes to 3-1. Called strike. And it'll be a full count on Matthew Herr. Called strike 3. Don't know how you let that one go. I don't think Herr knows how he let that one go. Backwards K. Second strikeout for Val Jimenez. And with one out, that'll bring up Austin Kim. Dwight Englewood shortstop is 1 for 2 today. Jimenez has looked pretty good here in his varsity debut. Called strike to Kim. Jimenez has allowed 2 runs. Really should not have. Of course, the error by Gabe Lasval was devastating. That's a ball low. It's a 1-1 count on Austin Kim. On deck is Kevin Rich. He's the one who hit that ball to left field, which I at least have him down for a single and then scoring on an E7. Pitches outside and a 2-1 count on Kim. Grounded foul, leveling the count at 2-2. Sun fighting through the clouds now. And after a long set, Jimenez deals. Ball 3 high. It'll be a payoff pitch to Kim with 1 out and nobody on. And that'll be ball 4. Just the first walk handed out by Jimenez. He has plunked a couple of batters. And with 1 out and 1 on, that'll bring up Kevin Rich. 1 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. And he's plunked. Thought that might have hit the knob of the bat, but no, it got a piece of Rich, so he will reach for the 3rd time today. And that'll put 2 on for the Bulldogs with just 1 away. Nick Bevilacqua, 0 for 1 with a walk and a run batted in. Luke Kim trying to keep the lead runner close. Val Jimenez deals way inside. Ball 1 to Bevilacqua. Lined foul down the left field line. Jimenez drops that one in there for a called strike, and it's a 1-2 count on Bevilacqua. 2 on, 1 away. Dwight Englewood looking to add to their 1-run lead. And Jimenez will look Kim back to second base. Then we have time called. Now everybody's set to go. Jimenez's 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Foul tipped into Luke Senator's glove. Swinging strikeout for Bevilacqua. Third K of the day for Jimenez. 2 out with 2 on. Big spot here for Gavin Markowitz. First pitch swinging to right. Jacob Greenberg can't get there. It's a fair ball. 1 run scores. Second runner coming home. The throw to the plate is in so much time. Luke Senator runs the runner down and tags him out. But 1 run in on an RBI single, I believe. Yeah, that wouldn't have been a double. RBI single for Markowitz. Dwight Englewood takes a 4-2 lead, and they will take that lead into the bottom of the 5th inning. Tommy Aquilina back with you at the Sugarman Sport Complex. Dwight Englewood has that multi-run lead. They lead 4-2 here in the bottom of the 5th. Stephen Kim, the leadoff batter for the Bridgemen, leading things off here in the 5th inning. And taking way upstairs. 1-1 count on Stephen Kim, who is 0 for 2 today. Inside, that one straightens Kim up, and it's a 2-1 count. Upstairs, Markowitz trying to settle down his pitcher. Mentioned how wild Day has been this year. He's looked pretty good so far, but in high school you always wonder about pitchers running out of gas. That's nowhere near the zone. Stephen Kim works a leadoff walk. Just the second base on balls today for a Bridgeman batter. Also 1 hit by pitch. We have a pinch runner here for Stephen Kim. He's Fort Lee's second baseman. You don't normally see that. Perhaps Pete Kraljic will have him pitch next inning. With the pinch runner on first and nobody out, Luke Senator takes low. A single for Senator his first time up, but then he was caught stealing, and then he reached his second time on an error by Austin Kim at short. Take strike one here. 1-1 count. One out, or nobody out, and a runner on first. Day deals a little bit upstairs. 2-1 count on Luke Senator. And that one gets a piece of Senator. So it's possible that Day is running out of gas here. A walk and a hit batter to start off the fifth inning. 2 on and nobody out. Could be a good opportunity for a bunt, although with Chris Kim hitting third, I don't know if he'd be inclined to do that. Chris Kim has walked and grounded into a double play so far today. 1-0. The pinch runner for Fort Lee is number 7, Ethan Rybalski. As time is called, and we're going to have a meeting on the mound here for Dwight Englewood. Zach Day has gone 4+. Only 2 runs allowed, despite the fact that he's now walked 2 batters and hit 2 more. He does not have a strikeout today. What he does have is a 2-run lead to work with. Behind in the count 1-0 to Christopher Kim. 2 on and nobody out here in the 5th inning. Coming out of the timeout, Day's first pitch, grounded to short. Kim, not fazed by the runner. Did he get the out at second base? Yes, he did. Just barely. So score that 6-4. It's a fielder's choice. Kim advances to third. Luke Senator is cut down. Again, a fielder's choice, but Chris Kim will reach. And again, a pinch runner for Stephen Kim. So it's Rybalski on third, Chris Kim on first, 2 away for Dorcom. The old fake to third, fake to first. He actually threw to first. Not sure what that was all about. Chris Kim is safe. Still waiting on the first pitch to Dorcom. Who's 1 for 2? And now ahead in the count 1-0. That pitch clips the outside corner. 1-1 count on Dorcom. Day throws over to first. Kim gets back. One the count on Dorcom. Called strike on the inside corner. 1-2 the count with runners on the corners and 1 away. Fort Lee looking to come back from what is now a 2-run deficit. Good take by Dorcom. Not sure if that would be a wild pitch or a passed ball, but Chris Kim does scamper to second base. So the tying run is in scoring position for the Bridgemen. Michael McMillan brings his infield in. Middle infielders trying to keep Chris Kim close, even though he's not the lead runner. They back up a little bit now. Dorcom fouls that pitch off. Chris Kim advancing is big there because it takes away the double play. Time has been called. And while time is called, Pete Kraljic is going to send in a pinch runner for Christopher Kim. That's number 34, Spencer Plout, running for Kim. Rybalski pinch running, he's at third. Plout pinch running, he's at second. The 2-2 to Dorcom, called strike 3. Fort Lee's cleanup batter is gone looking. First strikeout of the game for Zach Day. Could not have come in a bigger spot. And that'll bring up CJ Senator. Fort Lee's center fielder is 1 for 2 with a steal and a run. Day steps off. Now ready to go. From the full windup, Senator swings and misses. Day's 0-1. 0-2. Day moving over his outfielders, specifically his right fielder and center fielder. They shade towards what would be the other way if Senator were to put it that way. And now time is called. Zach Day looking to get through 5 full innings here in Fort Lee. And he does! Blows it right by CJ Senator. Back-to-back strikeouts with 2 runners in scoring position and 1 away. Huge job for Zach Day working into and out of a jam. We're through 5 innings. Fort Lee trails Dwight Englewood 4-2. Gives us an opportunity to shout out our Fort Lee Bridgeman Athletics sponsors. The Fort Lee PBA, Cafaso's Fairway Market, The Finest Construction, the Fort Lee Soccer Club, Rusin and Doru Electric, the Bridgeman Basketball Camp, the Fort Lee VFW, Visions Federal Credit Union, It's Greek to Me, Connect One Bank, the Bergen Black Sox, Senator Builders, UCS Strength and Speed, the Collective Salon, and the Fort Lee Education Association. We'll be right back with the 6th inning of play. So Zach Day picks up his first 2 strikeouts with the 2 potential tying runs on second and third and just 1 away in the 5th inning. Now he'll lead off the 6th inning. 7-8-9 due up for the Bulldogs. Val Jimenez still out there and still dealing strikes. 0-1 the count on Zach Day, who's pitched well but is 0 for 2 at the plate. Breaking ball in there for strike 2. Jimenez is on the hook for the loss right now, but for his part, he has 3 strikeouts. And this one is sent in the air towards shallow right field. In the outfield, it's Stephen Kim making the play. So he was pinch run for last inning, not pitching, at least not to start off the top of the 6th inning here. Stephen Kim back at second base. And with 1 out, Noah Fisher will be the batter. The Bulldogs' first baseman is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Sends this one into center field. That's a base hit. Senator will get over, but Fisher is now 1 for 3. That'll bring up the number 9 batter and designated hitter for Michael McMillan, Ethan Seidowitz. One for 1 with a hit by pitch and 0 for 1 in his lone stolen base attempt. Fouls that pitch off. Oh, 1 count, runner not going. 0-2 count. Dwight Englewood looking for some insurance as they lead Fort Lee by 2. Runner not going. Called strike 3. Really too close to take with 2 strikes. A backwards K, 4th strikeout of the afternoon into early evening for Val Jimenez. Now with 1 on and 2 away, he will deal with Glasser. 0 for 3. Grounded into a fielder's choice, his first time facing Jimenez. Runner going, pitches a strike. The throw to second, not in time. Without a slide, Fisher is in there safely. So now a runner on second with 2 gone, and an 0-1 count on Glasser. Runner is going again. The throw to third, not in time. 2 stolen bases for Fisher. And against Luke Senator, that's impressive. Pitch was outside the zone, so now a 1-1 count on the Bulldogs' leadoff batter. Set in the air to left, backing up his Lasval. He's there, he makes the play. So through 4 innings of work, Val Jimenez has struck out 4 and allowed 3 total runs. I don't think all of them were earned. Fort Lee, 6 outs away from a loss. They're going to try to come back against Dwight Englewood in the bottom of the 6th. We'll take things to the bottom of the 6th. Dwight Englewood, 6 defensive outs away from a win at Fort Lee. Zach Day in line for the win. His day on the mound is over after 5 innings. And this, I haven't been watching all of their games, but this must have been one of his best starts of the year. 5 innings for Day, 2 runs allowed, both of them earned, on 5 hits, 2 walks, 2 hit batters, and 2 strikeouts. At least as I have it scored. So again, Day in line for the win. This is number 10, Jason Lee on the mound for Dwight Englewood, and he deals inside to Fort Lee's number 6 batter, Jacob Greenberg. 6, 7, 8 due up here for the Bridgemen as they trail by 2. Fouled off, now a 1-1 count on Greenberg. Greenberg, Sango, Lasval due up for Fort Lee. Greenberg is 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch and a run scored. I believe he was also the second half of a double steal. Takes a called strike there from Jason Lee. Second pitcher for Dwight Englewood. And he gets a swinging strike. Fort Lee did not have a strikeout until that rally last inning. Now the last 3 Bridgeman batters have all gone down swinging. I shouldn't say that. They've gone down on strikes. One of them was looking. Greenberg is down swinging, and that'll bring up Nico Sango. 1 for 2 with an RBI. Way high. Jason Lee enters this one with 1 win on the season, a 5.25 ERA, 24 strikeouts in a team leading 24 innings pitched. Sango pops this one up. Fisher, with the umpire getting out of his way, makes the play. I believe he made that play in foul territory. One way or the other, Sango is retired, and there are 2 outs with nobody on here in the 6th. Fort Lee has not scored since they put up a 2 spot in the 2nd. They took a 2-1 lead. They now trail 4-2. Here's Gabe Lasval. RBI ground out to first, his first time up. That made it 2-1. And then he dropped a bunt down that was handled by Day. That did advance a runner, so that's a sacrifice hit for Lasval. Fouls that pitch off, so it's a 1-1 count on Fort Lee's number 8 batter. Looking to avoid a second consecutive loss are the Bridgemen. Jason Lee deals a called strike. Working quickly, Lee's 1-2. Swing and a miss, blew it right by Lasval. 2 strikeouts in a 1-2-3 6th inning for Jason Lee. Will head to the 7th, Fort Lee, trailing 4-2. Tommy Aquilina back here with you for the 7th inning. And now it does make a little bit more sense why Stephen Kim was pinch run for before. He does, in fact, take the mound here in the top of the 7th inning. Pete Kraljic's third pitcher, after Ryan Park and Val Jimenez, is Stephen Kim. I believe this is just his third pitching appearance of the year, but the numbers are good, as he deals a called strike to the left-handed hitting Matthew Herr. 2-3-4 due up in the Dwight Englewood lineup. Big swing and a miss on a curveball there by Herr. He is 1 for 2 with a strikeout, a hit by pitch, and 2 runs scored. Taps this one to short. Luke Kim retires Herr, score that 6-3, and there is one away. It looks like taking over at second base with Stephen Kim on the mound is number 4, Jeremiah Marrero. This is Austin Kim, the starting shortstop today for Dwight Englewood. He takes outside. Kim is 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Fouls that pitch off. 1-1 the count. Again, Stephen Kim hasn't pitched much this year, but he's pitched well. In 2 innings of work coming into today's game, a perfect 0 ERA, 3 strikeouts, and no walks. That pitch is outside. 2-1 the count on Austin Kim. Way upstairs, a little high and tight. 3-1 count now to the Dwight Englewood shortstop. Called strike, and we have a full count. Stephen Kim working quickly, dealing the payoff pitch, grounded to short. Moving to his right is Luke Kim, the long throw. Nico Sango cannot make the catch and tag the runner. Came off the base and got to the ball. Ultimately, I think that's going to be scored an E6 on Luke Kim. So a runner on first with 1 away, and that'll bring up Kevin Rich. His Little League home run scored the runner that was on base and himself, and gave Dwight Englewood a 3-2 lead. They now lead 4-2, and Rich takes strike 1. His last time up, Rich was plunked. Runner going. Pitch is low. This throw from Luke Senator is not in time. Runner on second with a 1-1 count. Dwight Englewood looking for an insurance run. Outside. 2-1 the count on Kevin Rich. Now 3-1. Sent in the air to center. Backing up is CJ Senator. Makes the catch. Runner bluffed. So runner on second with 2 away. That'll bring up Nick Bevilacqua for his 4th plate appearance of the day. 0 for 2 with a walk and a run batted in. Kim drops a breaking ball in there for strike 1. Looking to preserve his perfect 0 ERA on the season. Pitch is low. 1-1 count to the number 5 batter and third baseman for Dwight Englewood. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Stephen Kim doesn't really seem all that concerned with the runner, which makes sense, given there are 2 outs. And the 1-2 pitch. Fouled off. Bevilacqua with a good piece of hitting to stay alive. Got him. Hit by pitch, and Bevilacqua will reach for the second time today. No. Not being given the base. Did it get his bat? That would make it a foul ball. Well, all right, scratch the hit by pitch, continue the at-bat going, and it winds up being a swinging strikeout. So, Stephen Kim strikes out 1 in a scoreless 7th inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th. Last licks coming up for the Bridgemen. So here we are, last licks at the Sugarman Sport Complex. Fort Lee needs 2 runs to keep this one going. First pitch swinging is Luke Kim, and he fouls that one away. The old school style would be to take a strike when you trail late in the game, not so much a new school philosophy. So Kim down in the count, 0-1. Jason Lee still pitching for Dwight Englewood, looking for a 6-out save. Kim sends this one to right. Coming on and dropping the ball is Matthew Herr. Right in the wickets, and he dropped it. So an F9 allows the leadoff man to reach for the Bridgemen. Now, just like that, the tying run is at the plate in the person of Stephen Kim. Just got done throwing a scoreless top of the 7th inning. Kim has 1 home run on the season. Working from the stretch, Jason Lee deals low. The 1-0. Kim fouls that one away. Right off a car. Oh. That person's going to notice that when they're going to their car after the game. It's a 1-1 count on Stephen Kim. And they throw over to first. Wouldn't expect Luke Kim to go anywhere because he's not the run that matters. Stephen Kim is. So Fort Lee probably not going to go base to base, but I wouldn't expect them to be trying to steal here. Fouled off the other way again. Is this one going to get a car? I think it did bounce and then hit the underside of a car, which I guess isn't as bad as it hitting your whip on the fly. My car's in the other parking lot, so I'm fine either way. It's a 1-2 count on Stephen Kim. 1 on, nobody out, and another throw over to first. Why would you do that? It's going to be an E1, allowing Luke Kim to go to second, and Luke Kim is going to go to third. He is in there. Just barely in there. That was a gutsy call by Luke Kim, but score it a 2-base error on the pitcher. Again, that's not the run that matters. Stephen Kim represents the tying run. He's now hitting with a runner on third and nobody out. I truly don't know why you would pay that much attention to the runner when you have a 2-run lead. From the full windup, Jason Lee deals way upstairs, and it's a 2-2 count on Stephen Kim. Sent in the air to left. Play can't be made. It's going to roll all the way to the fence. The center fielder is after it. 1 run in. Stephen Kim rounding second. Stephen Kim has himself an RBI triple. Fort Lee trails by 1. Tying run 90 feet away. Stephen Kim with his team leading 5th triple of the season. He now has 18 runs batted in, and we're going to have a meeting on the mound. The game-tying run is now on third base, nobody out, and the heart of the Fort Lee order due up. Luke Senator first. RBI triple for Stephen Kim. He's now on third with the infield in. Nobody out still for the Bridgemen, and they have their best hitter in Luke Senator at the dish. He takes ball 1. Luke Senator leads Fort Lee with 2 home runs. He's tied for the team lead with 18 runs batted in. Takes upstairs. 2-0 the count on Fort Lee's catcher. Into left field. We're tied at 4. Luke Senator drives in Stephen Kim, and here in the bottom of the 7th inning, the Bridgemen erase a 2-run deficit and tie this one up at 4. Now the Bridgemen will look to walk this one off here in the 7th inning. The go-ahead run now is on base, on first base. Middle infielders back up to double play depth for Dwight Englewood. It's Christopher Kim hitting, and it's Christopher Kim fouling the first pitch off. So this is a blown save for Jason Lee. Zach Day will not get the win. Also, Val Jimenez will not take the loss here in his varsity debut this year. Christopher Kim is 0 for 2 with a walk. Luke Senator not going, and Kim takes strike 2. Obviously now, last inning in a tie game, Fort Lee can play for 1. The 0-2 pitch is a little upstairs. That was a pretty close take with 2 strikes. Umpire said it was high. 1-2 the count on Chris Kim. Runner going. Pitch is low, and Luke Senator would have had it easily if he had kept going, but he stopped and started. Runner remains at first. Now a 2-2 count on Fort Lee's number 3 batter. Runner not going. Pitch is called strike 3. Clips the inside corner. Now 1 out and 1 on for Jack Dorcom. 1 for 3. Jason Lee steps off. Now you want to pay attention to the runner in a tie game. Obviously, taking an extra 90 feet would be huge. Senator not going. Pitch to Dorcom is low. The 1-0 pitch. Check swing, he went around. Pitch was probably going to be ball 2, but instead it's a 1-1 count on Dorcom. And Jason Lee steps off again. Checks the runner. And steps off again. Putting a lot of focus on the base runner. Frankly, putting too much focus on the base runner. All for a pitch that didn't even reach home plate. 2-1 count on Dorcom. Fort Lee trying to complete the comeback and take this one against Dwight Englewood. Fouled off by Dorcom. Count levels at 2-2. Runner going. Pitch is high. The throw to second. Not in time. Goes into center field. Good backup by Glasser in center. But give Luke Senator a stolen base. Now 1 out of 2 in steal attempts today. The potential game-winning run is in scoring position for the Bridgemen. It's a full count on Jack Dorcom. One out, runner on second, middle infielders pinching to keep Luke Senator close. The pitch to Dorcom is called strike 3. Once again, Lee paints that inside corner. Second at bat in a row where Dorcom goes down looking. 2 outs now, and the potential game-winning run on second base. And it's Luke Senator's younger brother, CJ, who will step up to the plate. 1 for 3 with a stolen base and a run scored. He struck out his last time up. And he takes high. Jason Lee now pitching from the full windup. The 1-0 pitch. 1-1. Outfield playing very shallow. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Lee and the Bulldogs looking to force extra innings. Senator going, and the pitch is fouled away. So CJ stays alive. It's a 1-2 count. And the pitch. Fouled off again. Luke Senator was not going on that one. Still quite preoccupied with the runner. Upstairs, ball 2 to CJ Senator. Must have been a 3-1 count rather than a 2-2 count. My apologies, it is ball 4 to CJ Senator. So that'll put runners on first and second with 2 away. And now the baton will be passed to Jacob Greenberg. 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch and a run scored. 11 RBI on the year for Greenberg. First pitch is way outside. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Luke Senator not going. Pitch is way inside. Greenberg jackknifes out of the way. 2-1 count. There is still, it's not technically first base, but there is still a base open. 2 on, 2 outs in a tie game in the bottom of the 7th. The pitch to Greenberg is fouled off. 2-2 the count. Fort Lee looking to complete the rally and come away with a walk-off win. Dwight Englewood looking to force extra innings. Lee's 2-2 pitch. Swing and a foul ball. Wasn't sure if Markowitz held on behind the plate. He did not, so Greenberg stays alive. Both runners were going there. If the runners are going, basically any hit would win this one for Fort Lee. That pitch is just outside. Markowitz holds it there a good long while. Umpire says it was off the plate. So now the runners will get a head start. 3-2 with 2 outs. And the pitch. Fouled off. We'll do it once again. Luke Senator is getting his sprints in here this inning. CJ Senator is on first. He doesn't matter. The winning run is on second. Again, 3-2, 2 outs. The runners will be going. Lee dealing to Greenberg. High ball 4. And the baton is passed once again. This time it'll be Nico Sango. And now, notably, there is nowhere to put him. Markowitz will go out there and talk with his pitcher. I'm sure he knows that there are no longer any bases open. Nico Sango is 1 for 3 with 1 run batted in today. Drama on a Friday at the Sugarman Sport Complex. Lee deals outside, 1-0. If I was Sango, I wouldn't be swinging here until I see a strike. Again, nowhere to put you. The 1-0. Sango swings, sends it to center. Backing up his Glasser, he will make the play, and we're going to have extra innings here in Fort Lee. Extra innings, once again, here at the Sugarman Sport Complex. Stephen Kim threw a scoreless 7th inning. He's out there for the top of the 8th inning, and he deals ball 1 to Markowitz. Catching and leading off for Dwight Englewood here in the 8th inning. 6-7-8 due up for the Bulldogs. It's a 1-1 count as the Bulldogs coughed up a 1-0 lead and a 4-2 lead. Swing and a miss at a pitch way upstairs. 1-2 count. Markowitz is going to take a walk. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI. Check that, 1 for 3. And Stephen Kim deals. Called strike 3. Second strikeout for Stephen Kim, and that'll bring up Zach Day. A really good outing on the mound. Day will get a no decision. He's 0 for 3 at the plate, and he taps this one foul. Again, with Stephen Kim on the mound, it is Jeremiah Marrero at second base for Pete Kraljic. That's ball 1 today. Third to first for the Bridgemen. It's now Dorcom, Luke Kim, Jeremiah Marrero, Nico Sango. And that's way upstairs. 2-1 the count on Day. Drilled to left. It is a foul ball. Day a little bit out in front of that one, and it's a 2-2 count. Full count. The payoff pitch. Sent to left. Shallow left. Gabe Lasval calling off his infielders and making the play. 2 gone, nobody on, and that'll bring up Noah Fisher, 1 for 3 with a couple stolen bases. Fisher, the Dwight Englewood first baseman and number 8 batter. Takes ball 1. This is actually arguably the nicest it's been all day today, as we are well into the 6 o'clock hour here on a Friday afternoon into evening. Stephen Kim is down in the count 2-0, working very quickly, and that's grounded foul. The 2-1. 3-1. That's ball 4. First walk handed out this year by Stephen Kim in 3 2/3 innings of work. So with Fisher on first, Seidowitz will be the batter. Still DHing for second baseman Jeter Martin. Pitch is high. Fisher was not going on that pitch. Obviously, he is a threat to go. Seidowitz is 1 for 2 with a hit by pitch. Runner still not going. Pitch way inside. And all of a sudden, Stephen Kim has lost the strike zone. Finds it there. 2-1 the count. Fisher still not going. Now he is going. Strike 2. They're going to give Fisher the stolen base. That's not defensive indifference. He gets a steal there. But with 2 outs, Stephen Kim and Luke Senator both just want to focus on the batter. It's a 2-2 count. Runner going. Pitch is swung on and missed, so it doesn't matter. Stephen Kim strikes out the side in the top of the 8th inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Can the Bridgemen end it here? So to the 8th inning we go. Bottom of the 8th inning, that is. Fort Lee going to look to send everyone home happy. 8-9-1 due up for the Bridgemen. Jason Lee is still out there. And Gabe Lasval takes ball 1. Fort Lee's left fielder and number 8 hitter today. Gabe Lasval has 1 RBI so far. He does not have a hit. And he takes a called strike at the very bottom of the knees. 1-1 the count on the left-handed batter. And he sends this one to right. That was in the air for a while. Herr hangs on to that one. 1 away. That'll bring up Luke Kim. Herr's error was committed with Kim batting last inning. Should have been a fly out to right. Instead, it was an error. He reached, he scored. Fort Lee scored another run to tie the game. And now here we are in the 8th inning, knotted at 4. 1-0 the count now to Kim. 1 for 3 with a stolen base and a run scored. And now a 1-1 count. Lee deals. Outside. The 2-1 pitch. Kim swings right under that one. Count levels at 2-2. Over his head, he swings under that one as well. Strike 3. Go back to the top of the order with 2 outs and nobody on. Stephen Kim with an RBI triple last inning to drive in Luke Kim. And then he scored the game-tying run. Actually, might have been his pinch runner. Either way, we're knotted at 4. I believe that was ball 1 to Stephen Kim, who is 1 for 3 with an RBI, a walk, and a triple. Lee deals. Outside. That one gets by Markowitz. Kim sends this one to deep left. 1 hop. It goes to the fence. Stephen Kim will stop at second with a 2-out double. Second inning in a row with an extra base hit for Stephen Kim. And the game-winning run is in scoring position for the Bridgemen. So here is Luke Senator with a chance to end it for Fort Lee. Tied the game with an RBI single last inning. He's 2 for 3 with 1 RBI, 1 hit by pitch, and a stolen base. First pitch swinging fouls that one off. Infield comes in shallow. Stephen Kim not being pinch run for here. The 0-1 pitch is low to Luke Senator. That's high and tight. 2-1 the count. Sends this one to shallow center. Who's going to get it? Glasser is going to get it. And to the 9th inning we go. Tied at 4. Dwight Englewood and Fort Lee preparing for college ball by playing a 9-inning game here on a Friday. And Pete Kraljic will turn to a 4th pitcher. Ryan Park went 2 innings. Val Jimenez went 4. Stephen Kim went 2 scoreless. He now moves to shortstop. Jeremiah Marrero stays at second. And moving from short to the mound is Luke Kim. He's pitched a little bit more frequently than Stephen Kim. Luke Kim 1-0 on the season. 2 saves, although he can't get a save in this one. A 1.31 ERA, 13 strikeouts in 10 2/3 innings pitched, and he deals a called strike. To the first batter of the top of the 9th inning, it is Glasser, who made the catch that ended the bottom of the 8th inning. Glasser playing center field and leading off today. He is 0 for 4. And now down in the count, 0-2. And Kim plunks the first batter he faces. Dwight Englewood looking to retake the lead here in the top of the 9th inning after they blew a 1-run lead and then a 2-run lead. This is Matthew Herr. 1 for 3 with a hit by pitch and 2 runs scored. Pitch almost hit him. He swung at it anyway. It's a foul ball. 0-1 the count with a runner on first and nobody out. Luke Kim checks on the runner at first and deals ball 1. Runner going. Grounded to short. Stephen Kim was covering the bag. He had to go the other way, made a pretty nice play, but did not get the runner. Matthew Herr has wheels. He's also a left-handed batter, and he reaches on the infield single. 2 on and nobody out for Dwight Englewood. This would be a great spot to bunt, but teams don't like to have their third batter do that very often. Let's see what Austin Kim can do here with a couple runners on and nobody out. Kim is 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Luke Kim steps off. And now to deal. No, he wheels around, throws to second. Stephen Kim was not ready for the throw. Ball goes into center field. Very lucky Fort Lee is that Glasser slid into second base. Didn't have enough time to get up, realize where the ball was, and go to third. So he stays at second. And now Luke Senator going to talk things over briefly with his pitcher. Kim still yet to deliver a pitch to Austin Kim, the third batter and shortstop for the Bulldogs. Does show bunt. Luke Kim throws to second. Got him. Glasser straying way too far from the bag. Picked off by Luke Senator. So that might be a little bit of an idea as to why Austin Kim wouldn't want to bunt. That was a terrible bunt attempt. He's down in the count 0-1, and there's now a runner on first base and 1 out. Kim not bunting, taking outside. They go to second. This time the runner is safe. On the very next pitch, Matthew Herr attempts a stolen base. Risky, but it paid off. So Dwight Englewood does get a runner in scoring position after all. 1 man on, second, 1 away. Remember, this is the top of the innings. They're going to try to score as many runs as possible. The 1-1 pitch. 2-1. Luke Kim deals. High, make it 3-1. And the 3-1 pitch. Grounded in the hole into left field for a base hit. Herr will go to third. Austin Kim has his second hit of the day. Runners on the corners with 1 out for Dwight Englewood. And their cleanup man strolling to the dish. Kevin Rich had that Little League home run. Other than that, he's walked, been hit by a pitch, and then thrown out trying to score, and flied out to center field. Luke Kim and the Bridgemen still potentially just a ground ball away from getting out of this one. Strike 1. Strike 2. You wonder, does Dwight Englewood try to steal second base to stay out of the double play? If they do that, does Fort Lee throw through? So far, Kim has stayed stationary at first. It's an 0-2 count on Kevin Rich. Runner going. Luke Kim deals. Called strike 3. Luke Senator does not throw through. So give Austin Kim a stolen base. Kevin Rich strikes out looking. There are 2 away and 2 runners in scoring position. The batter will be Nick Bevilacqua. A bases-loaded walk his first time up. Since then, 0 for 2. 0 for 3, rather. Takes inside. 1-0 the count on Bevilacqua. Luke Kim working into a jam, trying to work out of it here in the top of the 9th inning. His 1-0 pitch ties up Bevilacqua. He fouls it off the fists. One the count on the Dwight Englewood third baseman. Just a bit outside. 2-1 the count. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Luke Kim, one pitch away from getting out of this jam. Time is called. Now we're ready to go. Called strike 3. So he does work into a jam. 2 backwards Ks thrown up by Luke Kim. We'll head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Can Fort Lee send everyone home happy? So here we go for the bottom of the 9th inning. Ball 1 outside to Fort Lee's leadoff man this inning at least. It is Christopher Kim, the 3-hitter. 3-4-5 due up for the Bridgemen. They just need 1 run. And that is way upstairs to Chris Kim. 2-0 the count. Kim 0 for 3 with a walk. Jason Lee still out there, and this pitch is fouled away. 2-1 the count. Earlier in the season, Fort Lee with a comeback victory against Hackensack. That wound up being a walk-off win for the Bridgemen in 9 innings. Looking to walk it off here in the 9th today. That's a good start. Kim grounds it to short. Austin Kim with a very lackadaisical, sidearm throw to first base. His coach is not going to be happy with that. It's a 2-base error, and so instead of 1 out and nobody on, Fort Lee is going to have a runner on second with nobody out because Kim threw that ball into the parking lot. So an E6 on number 6. Chris Kim will now get pinch run for, and the game-winning run is on second base for the Bridgemen. Nobody out. I know he's the cleanup hitter. Dorcom really should be bunting here. You're playing for 1 run. If he doesn't bunt, he should be trying to go the other way with it to advance the runner. Dorcom and then CJ Senator is on deck. Infield comes in for Dwight Englewood. Ball 1 to Jack Dorcom, who is not even thinking about bunting right now. He is the cleanup hitter after all. 1-0 pitch is outside. Markowitz tried to pull it back. It's a 2-0 count on Dorcom. Hitting here with nobody on and the game-winning run on second base. Now 3-0 the count to Dorcom. Dorcom is 1 for 4. Didn't think he had the green light there. Take strike 1. Now he's going to be sitting dead red. Lee deals. That's a foul ball. So from 3-0 to 3-2. Lee is ready. No, he's not. Checks the runner back. His payoff pitch is low and outside, ball 4. So the first 2 batters reach in the 9th inning for the Bridgemen. CJ Senator will hit with runners on first and second and nobody out. Senator is 1 for 3 with a walk, a stolen base, and a run scored. He shows bunt. Pops the bunt in the air. It's going to get the job done. It's going to be an infield single. An E6, a walk, and an infield bunt single, and the Bridgemen have the bases loaded with nobody out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Jacob Greenberg will be the batter. He is 0 for 2 with a walk, a hit by pitch, and a run scored. Infield is in. Outfielders have come basically all the way in. And the pitch to Greenberg is low. Nowhere to put him. Lee deals. Into left field, and that'll do it. Jacob Greenberg walks it off for the Bridgemen in the 9th inning. The comeback is complete. They trailed 4-2 going into the 7th inning. The Bridgemen beat Dwight Englewood 5-4 in 9 innings. Luke Kim will get the win, and Jacob Greenberg is the walk-off hero. Dwight Englewood falls to 6-12-1 on the season. Pete Kraljic's Bridgemen improved to 14-4 on the year, now 10 games over 500. They'll be back in action in a few days against Cliffside Park, their final divisional foe of the year. The Bridgemen win it in 9 innings in walk-off fashion and get to 14-4. Want to thank our proud Fort Lee Athletics sponsors. Want to thank Fort Lee Athletic Director Michael Raftery. Want to thank everyone who makes these streams happen, including Dimitri Nanis, and thank you so much for tuning in. You got a good one today on a Friday. Again, the Fort Lee Bridgemen come back and beat Dwight Englewood 5-4 in 9 innings. I'm Tommy Aquilina saying so long, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend.